What's up, traders? So we had 3 total trades on the real account, and as you can see, we had 2 trades on the demo account. Those were, again, testing that algo type thing that we got going on. As you can see, they didn't work out too well, and we'll kind of just briefly touch on that at the end of this video. So let's get to it. We're going to start it here, 49.97. Feels like it's trying to reject 50. This is a huge mental area. You can see in the pre-market, it looks like a touch there. I'm not sure if that was a real wick or not. I'm actually going to be going off that previous resistance around that 49.50 area and try to front run that a little bit. It's probably where it's going to bounce if we get a pullback. I downed the share size just a little bit there, just in case this wanted to run. Because we've been on Twitter before, this thing has a tendency to run. I think the last time we played it was down in the 30s. It's crazy. All right, coming back down. Just keeping an eye on the scanners here. See if there's anything else. You see I'm in that JFU trade, but that was an attempted hangover play with the algo. Still messing around with it, seeing if there's any use for it. Don't see how it can really work for us with let's check this out real quick. Sorry, the scanner's going off zoom. Not too bad. I'm probably not gonna play this. It's off the bottom. I don't really like playing this. Twitter coming down here, back down through 50. But the algo, here we go. I saw 70s. There we go. 70s. See if we can get down through 70 into the 60s. There we go. Just looking for that push down towards 60. Just looking for that $half to test. 66, 64. Didn't quite get there. Got our finger on the button just in case. Just watching it. Doesn't seem to want to get below 70. We're going to take it off because of that. We got 74. Read the price action a little bit there. It did bounce, as you can see. See what it does after this. Pins. This thing is really struggling through 51 here. It grinded and grinded to get here, but it is really struggling. You can see the jiggle happening right in front of our eyes. We're gonna start it. Ooh, thought I was getting 513 there. Ended up getting 5104. It's okay. Coming right back down through 51. Nice. We're gonna go ahead and put the order out here. Put it down at, let's go with 55. Front run that $half again. See if we can get back down there. So back up through 51. It's trying really hard to get up through this 51.15 area, and it's really struggling. It means there's a lot of selling pressure, obviously. Come back down through 51. Nice. See if we can't get that move back down towards the $half here. All right, we're coming down. I'm going to put our finger on the button here just in case it doesn't want to fill us again, kind of like it did on Twitter. Here we go, 65. Just looking for that flush down to test the $half. Come on. 63, 60. Just that little flush down there towards the $half. Let's go. There it is, 55. We were on the bid for a second. 55 again. There we go. All right, we got our fill on pins. Nice little trade there. All right, traders, so that was our trades on Twitter and pins. We also took a trade here on DS. I'm just going to go over this one. This one wasn't worth showing the live trade. We actually hit this one pretty good. We were looking to get out of this one. We had an order at 170. As you can see, the low got down to 172 here. And then it kind of squeezed up on us, and it never really came back down. We were looking for that little bit extra to make it worthwhile on this chart, and it just never gave it to us. It decided to go high of day. We actually put a stop in right over 2, just in case it wanted to get there. It wouldn't have lost much. We were a pretty small share size on this one as well. Only had 40 shares of this thing. And as this move was happening, it was like right around this candle. I ran upstairs, ended up getting into a conversation, and yeah, so it made this move without me. By the time I came back, it literally was on this candle as it went down towards 180, which was right around our entry. And I said, okay, we're just going to look to get out of this thing, break even, because we missed our ad. This is no longer the trade we want. And pretty much once it gave us the chance, the ash dropped down below our average, which was at 181, I think 5. Let me see, what does it say? 180. It just says 181, but I think it was 181.5 is what the fill was. And yeah, so that was basically just a break-even trade. And that wrapped up our our live trades. So over to JFU. This was an attempted hangover play. As you can see, it made a nice move yesterday, and it started to die off into the open. So the odds are it's going to, look for that continuation to the downside. That's what a hangover is. But you always have to look for the pop at the open, and that's exactly what we got. And the algo tries to jump in and then put an order out at specific points, and you can see this order being filled is actually from this order being filled. You can see they're pretty evenly spaced. And so this cover here was from these orders, and then this was the stop out because that's where we put our stop loss at. And as you can see, our max stop on this was $50, and it ended up at 45.04. So the algo did its job. Just the stock didn't roll over like a typical hangover would roll over. And then the other one that we played with the algo, we were just messing around with it, trying to see what we could do with it. Snap was pretty strong all day on earnings, and we were just looking to try to play the backside of this. And I was risking much higher than I should have. It's kind of funny because I ended up top ticking this with a predetermined stop loss that had no technical values at all. I just randomly picked it, and it ended up being a top tick. It missed it just barely. It was at 80. I want to say it was 83. What was the highs over here? 81. I think 81 was the high. And then it tried to retest it, or it was 80 and then hit 81. And we had our order that we just randomly picked when we started this thing all the way back over here at 38.83, and it went up to it by 2 cents. And as you can see, it actually came down and gave us two covers before ultimately going up and finally breaking it and stopping us out. And it only went to 38.89, so it was basically a top tick. And you can see it got our last ad there again since it covered that one because it puts the order back right before it finally stopped us out. So that was actually kind of funny, even though we were just kind of testing it. But that ended up being a $31 loss because of all the covers it got. So every time it gets a cover, obviously that's profit, but it's still using that initial $50 risk. This was just shorting something that you should have never been shorting in the first place. Like I said, I was just kind of testing it out. And in reality, if you were playing this for real, playing the backside, you would have stopped out as it broke through high of day here, and you wouldn't have had all this additional risk and all that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all I got today. Again, just kind of testing that out. Don't really look into it too much because I don't really see how it can work for me if I can't predetermine a strategy and hit the bid with it. It could work really well when it comes to that as far as scaling up to a certain point based off of max loss, because that's what I'm doing anyway. So to have something that could essentially do that for me and take all the emotion out of it, that could be something worth looking into, but this doesn't have that capability. I was actually just talking to the creator of this, and he said that that could be a future endeavor because I'm not the only one that said it. So it could be something to look forward to in the future if it does happen. So until then, though, it's something to play like hangovers. If you play the backside of para moves, you obviously can go long doing the same exact thing, just in the opposite direction. It could be something worth looking into, but I'm going to keep messing with it, obviously. But for now, my initial, what's the word I'm looking for? My first judgment, what's the first impression? There it is. I could brain fart. My first impression is it's not something that will work well with my current edge and strategy, but I can see via the videos he's posted and just using it in myself, I can see how it would work for others. But again, not quite my thing. Again, I'm not going to put the name out there just yet. I want to go ahead and keep messing with it, make sure everything works as it's supposed to, because I actually had been having a couple issues here and there. I just want to make sure that it was operator error and not software error. So until then, that's all I got. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. Always appreciate that support. If you do have any questions or comments, I'll leave those down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.